Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the program Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. And my name is William Kumwembe. In the program today, we look at prospects for the maize market in the 2023 season as price seem to have eased a bit marginally to about 30,000 per 50 kilogram bag. And also in the program, we get you to the International Trade Fair a week after it was officially opened to find out from exhibitors about their experience. That's inside Business Time. Hello and welcome. This is Business Time. In our main story in the program, maize prices seem to have eased a bit slightly from 40,000 kwacha as at beginning of April to about 30,000 kwacha for a 50 kilogram bag as at the moment. This seems to have brought some level of excitement among consumers, but there are fears from others that the price could also rocket as the country is feared to have produced less commodity than it requires. Now, our journalist Feston Malegezo have been speaking to some producers and traders to have a feel of what the future holds.
On a time like this one, harvest time, this is one of the periods of the year whereby maize prices do go down, a staple grain in Malawi. This is the reason because everybody, almost every household has the commodity at his disposal. But then if we go around, we went around, the voices on the streets is that the prices of the grain will be higher or will be volatile this year than any other. The reason largely is because the estimation is that production this year will be lower. This has been the case because of various reasons, Cyclone Freddy, dry spells in Kalonga, but also late delivery of inputs under the Affordable Input Program. If we go by reports, specifically the one done by the International Food Policy Research Institute, indicates that in the month of April, the grain was being sold at 15% less for the old grain and 9% less for the new grain. The lower prices were largely because the market is now being flooded by the new grain that people have just or are harvesting at this period. But the voices on the street could be a little bit different because they think the prices will be short-lived as compared to years before this one. So this is Vigogwa Market, one of the busiest markets in Mzuzu City. It is also synonymous with maize sales. We want to engage some of the traders in their anticipation of maize prices this year.
Mitengo pano pansika tinene chilungamo siyo khazikika.
Honestly speaking, maize prices are unstable. Sometimes we are selling at 8,000 or 8,500 or even 9,000 kwacha per tin. This is the case because of low production due to high fertilizer prices and economic hardships people are experiencing. Fertilizer prices went as far as 80,000 kwacha, and as such people did not farm a lot. At the rate we are going, the prices may reach 20,000 to 25,000 kwacha per tin.
Akururaso mochepa. Ndechimanga chikuoneka kuti chisowa komanso chikhala chodula, chikhala chokwera sontengo.
Now the prices are a bit better than what we come from. Just because as of now, we are saying maize at 15,000 per tin. As of now, it's 9,000. But the fact is that, what I know, the government has already advertised that they are going to buy maize at 500 per kg. They just know to send some people to turn our image as we vendors, but if you go at the ground, they don't even buy maize. The price can't be stable. The reason is this year people have been buying fertilizer at a lot of money. People have been buying Ferrez at 80,000. Even you can go to Kalonga, even Mzimba too. I doubt if people are going to yield. The government they have said this year price of maize will be 500, but it will reach even 1,000 if they don't take carefully. Let them take carefully so that they should start buying maize early June, maybe. But as of now, it's too late.
One of the agriculture policy experts, Leonard Chimaza, also shares similar sentiments as echoed by the traders here in Mzuzu.
As of now, we have some reductions in terms of maize price on the market because we are now at the peak period of harvesting on the market. So because of that, that's the more reason why I think in most of the areas the price of maize has gone down. But it is a known fact that we might not be witnessing the stagnation of the maize prices on the market for quite a long time.
A similar view is also held by Center for Social Concern, particularly by ISA Programs Coordinator responsible for economic governance, Bernard Mpepo, who says ideally maize prices decline between March and September every year. But then this time around, owing it to the several factors that have led to the low production this year, the prices could be a little bit higher this time around. But then this is happening at a time when the government has allocated about 12 billion kwacha to ADMAC and National Food Reserve Agency to purchase maize supplies. But then the two entities are yet to receive the money to start procurements of the commodity. Maybe this is one of the reasons that affects the demand and supply, but also the volatility of maize prices on the market.
It's been about a week since President Lazarus Chakwera opened the 33rd Malawi International Trade Fair in Blantyre on Wednesday. A week down the line, our journalist Kumwembe Mangazi toured the pavilions where he says there seems to be a low turnout compared to expectation. We have more in this report.
The International Trade Fair has entered the second week, and indeed it is the last week of this business showcase at the Trade Fair grounds in Blantyre. We are here to appreciate how businesses are finding it to showcase their various products and services. And some of the companies that we've spoken to indicate that it has been beneficial because they've managed to form linkages and partnerships with businesses as well as patrons that have come to appreciate what is on show at the fair. And these are some of the businesses that we managed to speak to.
Tam head bring ginger, tam orange juice, tam pineapple juice. They are made here in Malawi, currently in Sarima. So this trade fair will help us to make more customers so that we can diversify with our business. More than 20.
In terms of the trade fair, at least the export thing has been giving us the most opportunities because I've been coming here, people from Mozambique, Europe, around asking for the product, especially spirits, to be exporting outside from the country. At least it's giving us a big opportunity as a business. So for that, as for now, of course, our export manager is not around, but he was getting in touch with the people outside the country to get in touch for the export thing.
We're here as Mozambique in this fair. I'm from the Agents for Promotion, Investment and Exportation. We brought some product, but unfortunately, it was only for the one of our province, Zambezia province. We have a lot more in Mozambique. But we brought here some honey, cashew nuts, macadamia, sun oil, sunflower oil, soya oil, and we brought something that we are doing in Mukuba, one of the districts of Zambezia, is whiskey made by maize. We have our tea, black tea. Even on that side, we have some flowers, maize flowers. We have rice, We have furniture for wood, different kinds of wood that we have there. And we are here to promote our products so Malawi can see, can appreciate, and in the future can export our products to consume here locally. This is my first time in this fair, but we brought two companies. One of the companies for service, they are doing a lot of contacts here, logistics service. And the other one is for Ani, and the company is around also making some contacts. And we also, as an institution, we are taking a lot of contacts so we can share with Malawi, Mozambican part, the maybe for future partnership. Yes, maybe with that partnership. That's why we are. For example, this company of honey, they're making some contacts. Maybe they can do a partnership. Both sides can gain on this. Even Mozambican side, even Malawi side. But we are also give more information to our consulate from Mozambique here in Malawi, so we can have more information. I know about a delegation from Malawi, some Malawian go to Mozambique, so to Zambezia, so they can share some experience and maybe see something to do business. It's an open market. We are seeing a lot of Jews in Zambezia near. It's like 4 hours to Zambezia, Mozambique. Is near Malawi, and we have an open market. They can bring experience and products. We are open to receive that. Yeah.
The fair concludes on Friday.
Remember, this is Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. And my name is William Kumwembe. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You are watching Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. And my name is William Kumwembe. The National Planning Commission has emphasized the need for the country to adopt the use of ICT in its bid towards attaining the mark of creating wealth for war. National Planning Commission Director General Thomas Mutali was speaking last week at the ICT symposium which was held in Lilongwe. Kumwembe Mangazi has the whole story.
Mundali was speaking at the International ICT Expo organized by the ICT Association of Malawi in Lilongwe. He says, for instance, studies show that ICT adoption in agriculture can increase farmers' earnings from $1,800 to $2,250 within 5 years.
You know what the global economy achieved in 50 years through brick and mortar? That is going to a place, a market, or to a bank, trying to trade. It took them 50 years to grow the economies, which the current economies, the global economies, have grown within 15 years. So you look, things that without ICT, it would have taken us 50 years to achieve the same thing, which has been achieved in 15 years. And that's why when we're talking of graduating to Malawi 2063 as a nation, ICT is going to fast track the meeting of the graduation targets if we embrace it in full. And so we have in Africa, the case is such that if you're looking at if there's ICT penetration growth by 10%, we are likely to achieve a 2.5% increase in GDP. If you look at countries like Rwanda, Kenya, Morocco, Senegal, and others, the growth trajectory that they're seeing is largely because of the ICT-driven innovations. No mistake about it. Actually, the internet GDP has been getting closer to the US levels lately for these economies. The point I'm just trying to make here is that ICT is likely to move us much more closer, much more faster to graduating as a nation to a middle income economy than if we don't embrace it. Matter of fact, it says that by 2050, African countries, if they embrace ICT and internet particularly, they could reach up to 7 and 12 billion US dollars within that period. If you divide that by the 54, 55 African countries, it means we're talking about 12 or 13 billion US dollars per country, which is the size of the Malawi GDP presently, out of just ICT. Now, how do you operationalize this? I think there are three key elements. McPherson and team have talked to it. Network access, very important. Device access, very important. And the digital skills. Digital skills here both is literacy elements to use it and to embrace it, but at the same time, doing the software that can help us do much better. By the way, I think you as, especially those of you ICT experts that are not sitting in the government sector, government is not necessarily in the business of innovating, but you are well placed to innovate. And if you innovate and be able to come to say the National Planning Commission or e-government and say, look, we've innovated this and we believe if we apply this, we can improve the services of government or the services of institution by this much magnitude. We should be talking business.
But Spark Systems Limited Managing Director Wesley Piri urged that the industry is not receiving the necessary support from the government.
We've been in Malawi for 10 years. So maybe you can allow me to just give one or two examples. I've said this in some other forums. When we're coming up with the office complex, which is 7-story plus what we call it 8, I came to the previous government asking for the tax waivers. By then the minister, I think, had gone to UK saying, wooing more investors to come into Malawi, and that's where we're coming with that. So we asked for tax waivers, we were denied. Okay. But then we look back, we say, maybe that time they thought it's just an idea, maybe this guy cannot do. The time the new government was coming in, we had done the structure, finished up, and I can say on site I was having about 500 people. Those were jobs in Malawi. When the new government came in, we finished the structure. Now we're doing the finishing. So the finishing, this is our country. Not wrong, is a dusty area. So we said we don't want to put paint, we want to put aluminum cladding. We want to put double glazing so that because it's a training center, the sound from out should not be coming in. Okay. We came again to the current government, asked for the tax waivers, they refused again. So if someone tomorrow wants to build their own ICT Excellence Center, those are the problems that are there as of today. But the response actually that I had was, if it was a hotel, I would have given you, but it's not a hotel.
The International ICT Expo was third of its kind organized by the association.
Now, in other business news, the Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority, MACRA, has bemoaned financial hiccups in the rollout of the national addressing system. MACRA Director General Daud Suleiman was speaking in Lilongwe on. He says there is need for more financing towards attaining the desired mark. He explains in this interview with our journalist, Taonga Sabola.
23, the national addressing system has been a success. I think the northern region, we've managed to name and number all the streets and all the roads, including properties in all the districts. And we have cited that as a success because we started engaging with the local authorities sometime back in November and December 2022. So as I speak now, we are in the process of procurement, finalizing actually delivery of the infrastructure assets that are going to be erected in the urban, in all the bomas in the northern region. What that means is that at Chitipa Boma, all the roads and all the buildings around the boma, they're going to have the physical infrastructure installed, as well as all the buildings named. So this goes all the way to Likoma, as well as Karonga, Chitipa, every district in the northern region. So we have pinpointed somewhere around mid-July to be our end point for having all the districts in the northern region completely under the national addressing system, both physically as well as digital. So as we speak, we have started engaging the central region district authorities as well as the southern region district authorities This is an ongoing project. It has started, I think, about 4 or 5 years ago, but now we are pushing that by the end of the next financial year, we should get all the districts in the country, at least all the bombers must have the physical infrastructure installed, that whenever you go to any district in Malawi, at the bomber, you should be able to find every road named and every building. You should have a number. First of all, it is a very expensive exercise, because we need to have every building in Malawi to have a number plate, and every road or every street to have a name. The resource basket that we have cannot afford to cater for everyone else. So funding has been one of the key issues. And then secondly is the issue of vandalism. Vandalism of this infrastructure not only costs us a lot of money, but it also brings the nation backward. Because the infrastructure that is being installed in all these districts is infrastructure for the nation. It is infrastructure that is facilitating for the development and building of the digital economy. Therefore, the more we vandalize infrastructure that has been installed, the more we are taking this nation backward. So we are appealing to Malawians to treat the national addressing system infrastructure as critical infrastructure. As we speak, issues to do with revision of the Communications Act are in motion. We have a task force that is looking at the reviewing of the law. Remember, the Communications Act is pre-2016. We are now in 2023. So there's a good 10-year period that has elapsed, and therefore we need to revisit certain things. And one of the things that we are looking at is to put national addressing system into the Act, and to also provide provisions on how we deal with people that are vandalizing and violating the national addressing system. Therefore, we are proposing for stiffer penalties for anyone who will be caught with vandalism in and around national addressing infrastructure in Malawi.
Well, that interview also brings us to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. My name is William Kumwembe. On behalf of the entire production team, I say bye, but always remember, if it doesn't make money, then it doesn't make sense.